Is it time Eastern Washington became its own state? Well, that's what two local lawmakers want, and thousands of you have weighed in today on our Facebook page saying, go ahead, rip it right down the middle. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Nadine Woodward. A proposed bill splits the state at the Cascades. Everything east of the mountains would be the new state of Liberty. Representative Matt Shea created the bill for the upcoming legislative session. And KXY4's Drew Reeves working for you with the details and just how realistic something like this really is. Drew?
Well, Nadine, you can see how the two states would look. Washington on the left, Liberty on the right. Today, I spoke with one political science professor from Gonzaga who says this would be incredibly difficult, if not nearly impossible. It's why a state hasn't split from another since West Virginia in 1863. Forming a new state in Eastern Washington might sound like a nice idea.
The opinions politically are so different, like so drastically different on like either side of the mountain, so I guess it makes sense.
But to make it actually happen, not as simple.
I could think of 1,000 ways where this could be just go nowhere.
State Representatives Matt Shea and Bob McCaslin are co-sponsoring legislation to form a new state in Eastern Washington, the state of Liberty. Shea says the cultures and lifestyles are so drastically different in the East and the West that Washington needs to separate.
I always find it fascinating that this resurfaces from time to time, but no, I wouldn't support it and don't even think it's even a realistic possibility.
He's right. It really isn't all that realistic.
To actually do this is hard work for a long time.
Michael Trelevin, a political science professor at Gonzaga University, says to form the state of Liberty would take years and years with hardly any political opposition. It would first need to be approved by the state House and Senate, then the U.S. House and Senate, not to mention how the state of Liberty would pay for itself. Eastern Washington taxpayers don't pay enough to fund schools and roads and rely on state money.
It would have to decide that it would either raise its own taxes or do with less.
Proposing a bill like this is nothing new.
Every legislative session in recent years anyway, in Oregon and Washington, somebody has introduced a bill to say Eastern Oregon or Eastern Washington should be made separate states.
Professor Trelevin says if a bill like this wants to be taken seriously, it needs to be introduced with a majority of Washington residents showing favor for such a split. He says getting that voter approval would likely be expensive and won't happen anytime soon. City Council President Ben Stuckert also released a statement saying he does not support this idea. Reporting in studio, Drew Reeves, KXY4 News.
Thank you, Drew. Well, the new state of Liberty was the subject of our Facebook question of the day, and thousands of you have weighed in. In fact, almost 9,000 have voted. The majority saying that they support two separate Washingtons. You can check out the poll, read the comments for yourself right now. Just go to our KXY4 Facebook page.